Okay, let's begin with the big picture here. We open today inside of Friday's and Thursday's range. Let's see if this high will break out aggressively to the upside today, or if we just continue to build value in here and then move below 11,000. So the price gapped up at the open and opened in the middle of 200s and 100s range, almost in the middle, then sold off immediately. Now let's see this kind of range, if it's gonna go down to pivot point and 100s and then rallies back up, or if it's gonna just break to the downside. Okay, initial support here. Let's see if this support can hold and then we rally higher and break out the day's open price, then rally it up to resistance 1 initially and then up to 200s. Or if this just gonna break to the downside, then find resistance at 100s and then sold off lower. Okay, so we had initial sell off here below pivot point, held resistance here. Now let's see if it holds resistance below 100 and goes down to 50s. Euro dollar held support perfectly at 106. Let's see now if this resistance will lead us further downside. So if we put this into perspective today, we would just open at the initial balance high of Friday's session, then fail to move lower, and now we are selling off. Let's see how we'll behave here at 70s. And if price manages to break downside and holds up resistance here below 11,070s, then this will be more aggressive downside, initially 11,000. So let's see how this will go. So if price manages to break down this 70s, then it will have accelerated move to the downside. So let's see if this will play out. Okay, so price selling off. Let's see now how this 1170s will play out. If price keeps holding below, then we'll probably move even lower. Let's see if it goes back to 11,000, or let's see if that was the bottom and then reverse and goes back up. Okay, so we see here volume spike above 500 at this down move. Let's see if this one was a retest of this low and then price move upwards. But then we'll see how this will, if this goes back up and finds resistance then back down, or if it's just gonna sold off here. So let's see here the perspective on the daily chart. Now we initially held support at previous past week's high 1160s. If this low and this low breaks to the downside, then we'll probably revisit 11,000, but then let's see if this happen or this happen, or just price consolidates here and then later in the day breaks out to the upside. At the moment this looks very good short. We had the initial high here, then failed breakout, but again was Friday and low volume, etc. Now price opened up and straight down, sold off straight down. Let's see if this can break down and go 11,000 or even lower. This is if you trade, this is how you should think while trading what you see. If this doesn't happen, then you need to act accordingly and trade the other scenario or not trade at all. Depends on your thesis. So on the minute we had initial rebound as expected here because of this retest with volume spike the previous candle. Let's see now if this can hold and rally higher, or if it's just gonna collapse down to 11,000. Okay, so let's see it into perspective again. Price initially gapped up and held resistance here at day's open price and an initial balance high of Friday's session, initial balance, then tight range, broke down the range, broke down pivot point, held resistance, then broke down 11,100s. Now the concept is, the idea is that if price holds below here 1170s, which is the initial balance low from last session, which is this level. Then it will be more constructive to the downside, and initially will visit 11,000. Otherwise, we'll just continue the previous range like this and just build value here during the day, and then we'll see which side will break, if it will break down or upside. Okay, so after this initial mini flash down move with volume spike above 500, then price build gradually a higher low pattern, held support here at the 11,070s, now rallied back up to pivot point in 100s. Let's see if this resistance will be just a retest and will have a further downside during the day, or if we're just gonna break out above and initially go up to day's open price, but at the moment looks like resistance, so let's see. Okay, so we had a retest of pivot point. Let's see now if price continues to hold below 100 or if it just break it up to the upside. Okay, so this is today's setup. We had an initial gap up above 100 level, then tight consolidation, then breakdown and support here at a previous high with volume spike retest, then gradually rallied back above and reversed. This kind of setup is similar to this setup which I have archived. In this case, we had gap up at the open like today, but not above in intraday psychological level 900s, but below, but it's almost the same. So we had a tight range as well, then resistance, then initial sell-off, then support, and then rally back above. Let's see now if today the price will make a higher high for the day, and then break out the day's open price and initial balance high, which at the moment held the resistance very clearly here, and then break out to the upside. Otherwise, this will just be a range day, and then we'll see at the US cash market open which side and if it will break. So if for example you have expected very big moves today, but this means that you are not aware of where the VIX volatility index is, which is very low, then you could be trading very clearly here the initial balance level. As you can see here, okay, here had some noise, but very clear resistance here at 100. Then retested the initial balance high, retested again, and at the moment held resistance. So this could be very good short opportunity for a move down to 100 or even equilibrium line, or even be more optimistic and hold it for lower if this happens. Otherwise, but this is very clear identify risk. So if you have a stop above here, then you could hold the position and scale out accordingly. Okay, so US cash market opened. Now we see initial resistance here at 100 once more. Let's see if this one finally will give us lower, will lead the index lower for a day's low retest and initial balance low retest. Okay, so we had initial sell-off, then retest of 100s and US cash open price. Then price sold off and then found support here at 70s level, which is the initial balance low of Friday's session with volume spike here as well. Then rallied back above up to equilibrium line, initially sold off, then immediately reversed, held support, rallied back up to pivot point, then reversed and held support at US cash market open price. Now initially held resistance here at initial balance high. So as I said earlier in this video, this could be a very good range opportunity. As you can see here, multiple failures, but if this holds, which it held at the moment support, this could be a higher move initially up to day's open price. So let's see how this will develop, and basically this week we don't need to expect too much volatility, but this doesn't mean price cannot go a good distance up or down. So let's see how this kind of range between the weekly highs and last week's highs and previous week's high, how this level will play out. This is very good for intraday short-term range trading. Correlation with SPY as well. SPY rallied up to 10. Let's see if it can break it higher or if we'll just find an intraday top there and then sells back down. Okay, so price held support here twice at 100 retest, then now broke out initial balance high. Let's see if this will hold and rally up to days open price or even higher, resistance 1s or 200s. But again, price spent the most time up to between the equilibrium line and initial balance high, with very clear resistance here at 100s, many tests. Then initially fake down, equilibrium line here, then rallied back above 100s, held support, now broke to the upside. Let's see how this will. So we actually had a volume spike here while price spiked above 500. Let's see now if this can hold support here and then rallies even higher, or if it's just gonna hold resistance and then keep the ranging style of trading for the rest of the session. Okay, so price just consolidated in a very tight range here above initial balance high, now kind of selling off due to European cash market close. So today, if you, this for the whole week, you need to focus basically of a range type of trading, because volatility is low unless something happens. So let's see the daily chart perspective here. On the long side, we did held here at past week's high and at open price of Friday session. So this could be a very good long opportunity, and even better, you can hold it for a possible breakout of this level if you are looking for swing positions. So let's see how this will develop the next days, this whole week. So if you like what you can share on my YouTube channel and subscribe. And if you have any questions, do not hesitate to ask anything. So thanks for watching, and more videos with in the future.